Hello and welcome to the Roughneck Minute, a movie by minute podcast where we go over the movie Starship Troopers 1 minute at a time. I'm your host Johann.
And I'm your other host Matthew.
And we are at minute 119. It begins with Rico congratulating Private Zim, and we end the movie. And they will win.
Yeah, so guys, what we're doing with this one, because this minute runs a little long, an additional 17 minutes just because we don't want to cut off the 17 minutes. What we're doing with the credits is we're going to have one big episode for the credits where we go over everyone who we missed at the very beginning of the movie because there was no intro credits. But we're doing the credits all in one episode, so we're stopping right at 17 seconds of the next minute as well, too. So this is going to be an extra long minute. A minute 17.
Yep. It's like a leap year minute.
A little bit. I mean, we get one.
Yeah. Because I know we were trying to figure this out, like, what do we do? Because we knew it wasn't going to end at an immediate 1 minute. Obviously, that there's going to be a little bit of a leftover.
I mean, certain other people who do their podcast will have a little more integrity and be like, no, minute by minute means that.
Yeah.
We're a little more lax. We're a little more... We don't care.
We very much don't.
I mean, we do to a certain point, but at this point, it's 17 seconds, dude. If it was longer than 17 seconds, it'd have its own minute.
Yeah. So, anyways, Rico congratulates Zim on a job well done for basically preserving the human race at this point.
Yeah, and tells him, good job, Sergeant.
Yeah. And then he says, I'm a private. He says, carry on, private.
And then they all cheer.
Yeah. I mean, this was a definite callback to the point where he's saying, like, if you want combat, we're going to have to bust you down to private. Where you get to play with the minerals. They're not rocks, they're minerals. But anyway, so, yeah, it's a good callback that basically, like, a small conversation that was had for, like, less than 10 seconds eventually closes up this entire conflict. Which is good.
Yeah.
Of all the Dark Horse callbacks and foreshadowing that was done, this is not the worst that I've seen in books or movies. Because sometimes you see those horrible ones. And this one's not the worst.
I like this a lot better than Actually, I like the book a little bit better, too. Because at the very end... Johnny is actually with, Juan in the book is he's in Rico's Roughnecks, of course, he's the leader, but his father is also still alive. His father got out of VA and is in his squad now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing. Instead of his father, because that's the thing, though. They could have done it where, hey, you know what? Who got the bug? Your dad.
Yeah.
That would have been kind of cool.
Yeah, that actually would have been incredibly awesome.
Like, whoa, you got out of BA. It's like, yeah, I did, actually. That's kind of weird, huh? I mean, you saw me on the video screen when the meteor came down. How did I get out? Da-da-da.
Yeah. But it would have been also kind of good if his dad wasn't with the Roughnecks. That all of a sudden he appears. And he's like, hey, like, I saved the day. Your dad.
Well, no. But that's what I mean. Like, he eventually, at the very end of the book...
okay.
At the very end of the book, he eventually gets... He joins the military, towards the very end of the book. And then at the very end, they're going on their first drop together as father and son. And they're in the same unit. Because Rigo was able to pull a few strings to get his dad in his unit.
That would actually be really rad.
Yeah.
But I think that's actually against current regulations, I think. Because of
currently, yes.
Because there's some... this is only what I've heard. I've never researched it, and this was prior to the internet, so I believed it to be true. That there was like a set of brothers during the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and because they all were in the same ship, and they all died, and the family lineage ended because of it, that they kind of chose not to do those sort of things anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So just so then that an entire family won't get wiped out immediately, type of thing, that they chose to separate them. I'm not sure if that's completely true. I definitely would want someone that would know more about that to reach out to the show. But that's kind of what I heard. And it seems to make sense. And like I said, this was prior to the internet, so
Yeah.
And I think I read it somewhere. Anyways. But yeah, that would have been actually a really cool turn. I mean, I do enjoy the ending, the fact that Zim saved the day, but I also didn't read the book. So to me, it was a callback to a character that I like that I haven't seen in almost an hour.
Yeah.
So to me, it was good.
The whole entire turn was because, Mr. Rico in the book didn't want him to go into it. Was pretty much the same way in the movie as well, too. Like, no, you're going to Harvard and that's pretty much it. And then does this complete turn where he understands, no, it's about the fate of humanity and holy crap, my son's here. This is awesome. You're still alive.
Yeah.
So that's what it was, but whatever, it's fine. I mean, it's cool with Zim as well, too. Zim's there, he gets combat. It's great.
Yeah, he gets combat and saves the day. I mean, that's just like the win-win right there.
Mm-hmm.
So we go on to about like the 12 to 14 seconds after everybody's cheering for Zim being the hero. And you see a couple of the soldiers' backs. You see all of them kind of in a mosh pit right there with the brain bug in the center. And you see the hole that they drag the bug out of. Other than the troopers in the immediate front of the camera, maybe on the wall of the rocks, I think everything there is CGI.
I think so too.
Because if you watch the way some of them are cheering, the arm movements are not natural at all, like in any sense.
No, they don't look like it.
Yeah, it looks like PlayStation 2 days, where we're starting to get a little bit better with how the crowd was moving in the background, like if you were playing like NHL or NBA. From EA Sports, the way they would cheer in the background, that's kind of how they're moving. It's not natural.
My thing is, I think it's mostly like they're just copy and pasted, because I do see a couple of them moving kind of the same way, but just in different waves, like one does the same movement, but maybe a couple seconds later, there's another one about maybe 3 or so troopers away from them that does the same thing.
Yeah, but what I mean is it's not like a copy and paste of somebody that's moving natural and then they copy it over there. Like, it's just all CGI. Like this, they copy and pasted a CGI person doing this, and they just kept doing it over and over again. And it's just, but it seems like the only like maybe dozen that are in the front are the only ones that are actually real in this scene. They're kind of moving like the passengers you pick up in Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
Like they're like, hey, pick me up. Crazy Taxi.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great show.
Such
great game.
Great game. So like I had it on the I think it was a Dreamcast or a Saturn.
Dreamcast. Yep.
It was Dreamcast. Okay.
Dreamcast. Because I had it too.
And then when I go to the arcade, it was there. I'd still play it. Such a good game. So yeah. It kind of goes to the federal network where people all of a sudden are in biohazard suits while they're experimenting on this bug. It's weird because the ground is yellowish around it, and it doesn't look like it's a shadow. Like, they have a shadow, and there's like some yellow underneath. I don't know if the bug, like, this is to show that the bug is peeing itself because it's terrified because they know it's afraid.
Mm-hmm.
But did you notice that it's yellow?
Yeah.
I didn't notice this till we're doing minute by minute, so.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Yeah. Well, this whole bug is kind of gross. It's still got that meat wave going.
Yeah, it does.
So they're doing like all of these experiments that seem entirely reckless considering they only have one of it, in my opinion. Like, I understand, like, yeah, it's the enemy. They shouldn't care if it feels pain or whatnot. But there's only one. And you'd think you'd be a little bit more careful with your one existing specimen.
I mean, they may have also checked it like physically and been like, "Oh, is this benign? Is this gonna kill it if we hurt it?" Kind of thing. They may just be torturing it like crazy.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just don't understand the concept of trying to torture it when you're trying to read its mind. Like, it's not the best mindset to put onto it.
No, it's really not.
So if you're trying to see, like, hey, like, let's see what its history has been, the only thing it's thinking of is the fact that it's in pain. So to me, it just doesn't make sense in the way they're doing the experiments. But I do like the... I thought it was kind of funny the way they censored out one of the probes here.
I mean, you have something that is phallic looking somewhat going into a vagina. Of course they're going to censor it.
Well, no, I think it's a TV censor of like extreme violence for some reason. They'll censor that. I'm wondering, well, you actually make a good point. I wonder if the censor came from like Verhoeven to make it funny, or if it was like a censor to keep its rating.
That's what I'm thinking. No, I think it was something to keep it funny, because they did the same thing with the cow in the very beginning, remember?
That is true. Yeah.
When they were showing, like, in the next scene, they were like, oh, look at all these, Mormons who decided that they wanted to be in Port Joe Smith, and their bodies are strewn everywhere, but, let's censor the cow.
Yeah, because they also didn't censor the carnage of BA. They didn't censor the carnage of Clendathu. So maybe I think it's the act of death that they censor, but not death. Or the act of violence. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It just seems weird, but I thought it was funny, because I thought it was like a callback to kind of like how there were cutaways to like right before something violent happens, like the climbing for dollars segment.
Yeah.
They cut away before the dogs get at the guy.
I watched that movie the other day, and that made me that gave me a little tickle right there.
It still makes me laugh like that.
It's a good movie.
It is. But for those
of you who don't know, we're talking about The Running Man.
Yeah.
With Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Oh, and apparently they're going to be making a film of The Long Walk, which is what Running Man was supposed to be based on, but apparently it's completely different.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Have you read about The Long Walk?
No.
It's this crazy thing where they make basically kids walk almost, I think it's across the country, and they have to keep a certain pace the whole time.
Cool.
Yeah, and then if they don't, they get killed. And so if you get to the end, you're supposed to have like food and water to like keep you going for the rest of your life or something like that. But
it's pre-Hunger Games, Hunger Games.
Yeah. And it was written by Stephen King, just under a different pen name.
Ah, okay.
Back when everybody was doing that. It was probably a way to get around contracts.
Probably.
So they start to talk about like the new stuff that they're getting to fight the war. We definitely have some newer looking Corvettes.
Yeah, these are actually the Athena class Corvettes.
They look more armored, like they're actually ready to take the those plasma bugs shots.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm pretty sure the Corvettes from beforehand, they were not, modified or designed specifically to take those rounds, because I've never had to take those rounds at all. But no, I mean, now these ones may be like, oh, they may not be fully able to stop the plasma, but they'll be able to withstand it a lot more than, they'll be able to withstand it more than the regular Corvettes.
Yeah, because it's not going to slice through them like the previous Corvettes were.
No.
One of the things that I did notice about the ships prior to the other one, other than the fact they do look more heavily armored, is there's no huge opening on the top of it anymore.
Nope.
It makes me think that maybe the drops have become a little bit more secure. Like maybe they plan out their drops a little bit better. Like maybe they have a completely different Viking that comes out and everything like that.
Well, we see the Vikings at the very end as well, too. But I think they have a lower... instead of on top, they have it on the bottom.
Yeah.
Because we do see a couple bays on the bottom for the Thunderbolts and whatnot as well still, too.
Yeah, but that's why I just think that maybe they figured out like a better... so they're planning to secure the Corvette a little bit better, that they also plan to change the way it drops as well. Mm-hmm. Next, we move on to the next gun that they have.
Merida Mark II.
Yep. One of the things that's incredibly different about this one compared to the other one is now this one has iron sights.
Yeah.
They went through a whole movie with just guessing if they make a shot, but this one actually has an effective iron sight.
Yes, it does.
But this thing is also way beefy and definitely looks faker.
Well, as we said in the previous minutes as well too, it looks like it kind of has like a little bit of a carapace kind of thing on it as well too.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe. I wonder why. Is it to? So I'm trying to think about first off the shot that it takes, and do they need something with a little bit more casing on it to prevent it from blowing up in the barrel?
Maybe to make it look a little more futuristic. I mean, they're turning everything a little more futuristic. We're going from sharp angles and sharp lines like the Corvettes as well to like the smoother, classier Athena class, and then we're going from the sharp lines, sharp angles from the Merida Mark I to the Merida II.
I guess that does make sense.
Future.
But also, this one doesn't have a clip or a magazine, I mean, compared to the other one.
It's in the back still.
I can barely see it.
Let me see if I can find it. No, you know what? You're right. You know what? This one may be completely magazine-less because it looks like there's like a slot on the side. This one actually looks like it's a... You
think this one's more like a ZF-1? Like it has a uranium charge in it?
I don't think so. I don't know. Let me see.
Yeah, because I don't see a place that there's no magazine hanging out of it.
Okay, I have something on this one too. So
okay,
so it looks kind of like the side of it looks like the what is it called, what are the bullet, where the casing door, is that what it's called, where the bullets fly out?
Oh, dang it, I can't remember.
That's okay, never mind, I'll say something else. So this one kind of looks like it's modeled after an M16 just because you see the place where the bullets pop out of on the side where you charge the rifle as well too.
Yeah, it looks like a 6-year-old carrying his dad's M16 though.
Yes.
Like even the butt end is like incredibly huge for this gun.
It is giant. But this one was actually not modeled off of any modern military or modern gun at all. It was completely fabricated and is complete prop made out of vacuum formed plastic and aluminum.
Yeah.
So this is not based off of any weapon. It doesn't have a weapon model underneath it or anything like that.
Yeah. But it just seems like it's really, really bulky. Like, not just bulky, but it needs like a bipod or a tripod at the end of it to stabilize the front end of it, because it looks like a lot of the weight is towards the end.
It does, but I'm thinking that bottom part where he's not holding his hand is supposed to be where he's supposed to be holding his hand.
Maybe.
But, I don't know.
But like even the pump action, because it looks like there's still supposed to be a pump action on there. That grip is, not only is it like really, really far out, it's huge.
It's really big.
It's like you're trying to rack like 3 shotguns at the same time.
Yeah. So,
and I noticed like where the barrel is for the shotgun, it's plugged up. So it's 100% a prop. I understand it, but come on, we've gotten so far. Can we at least get something realistic here?
See, that's the thing. So in the third movie, they go to the Merida Mark III, which is a bigger kind of... It looks kind of like the Mark I and Mark II combined.
Yeah, I know,
but that one's based off of a Vector R5 weapon as well too. So it's pretty neat. But the weapon in 3 is really big and bulky.
Yeah, I get it, but it's just... we've gone so long with such good effects. Like, can we just close it up with good effects?
We need future guns.
I know, but
Pew pew.
can we get future guns that actually have a hole in the barrel?
No.
Because not even the barrel itself seems to look like it has a hole. It's closed off.
Let them have fun with their giant weapons. It's cool, man.
I guess. It's like potato guns that are sealed off. It doesn't work right.
Exactly.
But anyway, so like the effect of this gun, it speaks out to what I was saying earlier, was that during the bug city, it doesn't look like it's a complete mountain, but it's been hollowed out from the inside, or possibly been built up from the ground up with the worker bugs creating like a termite hill. Mm-hmm. So maybe this gun is to expose the bug city once they kind of locate it. Instead of trying to find an opening, they create one of their own. It makes it easier for them to dispense like a nuke or incendiary weapon.
Yeah.
So, and then we get a screenshot at 5841 of the beginning of the movie, where they have the old guns. Come on, god damn it! Give me something with continuity here.
It's just showing the same thing that we saw at the very beginning of the podcast as well too, where all the troopers are there.
Yeah,
we need soldiers like you.
I mean, I can
using the same. They're using the same thing, same shot. It's fine.
I can kind of understand, like, okay, we have new guns, but let's also show like how many soldiers we have. But possibly redo the shot with the new gun, like peppered in there. Like, come on, you just showed it.
Nah, it's okay. It's a new gun. Not everyone has it.
Yeah, but it's like showing like the old Corvette and then one new, or not even, like showing the new one being made and then showing the fleet of the old ones.
I mean, honestly, they should have a few old Corvettes in there, because unless they were doing some crazy shipbuilding within the last couple months, you're not going to have that many.
Yeah, exactly. So I would understand if like the new ones were kind of peppered in and you see some of the old ones, because, you know, possibly there's a use for the old ones as well.
Do you want to get really upset right now?
God, no.
So during the scene where we're coming up towards the very end of the minute, where Johnny
no.
says, where Johnny says, "Come on, if you want to live forever,"
no,
they're still using the Mark Ones.
God dang it! I said no.
I mean, it's hard to get out new tech. That was just a field test. We have new weapons. They're not available yet, but we have them.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what it is. That's all I gotta say.
Alright, so at like 58:44, we get a call back to Amy Smart reappearing.
Amy Smart! Stack Lumbridge.
Yep. Stack being still just a weird first name. Alright?
Man, yeah.
I mean, Ace is kind of on the fence there, because that's a better nickname than it is a first name.
And then you have Gunnery Sergeant Zim.
Yeah. Well, Zim's the last name. Gunnery isn't his first name.
I mean, isn't it?
No.
Mr. Gunnery Sergeant. I mean, don't call me Mr. Mr. Gunnery Sergeant was my father. You can call me Gunny.
Oh, poor Gunny.
No.
I know, but it's like... It's trying to force your kid into some sort of predestination by saying that your first name is going to be Doctor. So it's like their whole life they'll be like Doctor something, and it's like, you better be a doctor or else like your name is not going to sound cool.
Yeah.
So Ace is fine. It's closer to a nickname than a first name. That's fine. But Stack is still a weird first name.
Yeah. It's the future. People have weird names.
I guess. I mean, like, if Pamela Anderson changed her name to Stack, like, I understand it. But it's not one that you name your kid.
I mean, Dizzy is a weird name, too.
Unless it's Desiree.
Never mentioned.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Diz is cool, though. She gets a pass by me.
Sure, why not?
Someone will say, "This is Dizzy." What kind of name? All right, you get it. You're Dizzy. All right, cool.
That's a little biased, but okay, sure, I'll allow it.
Yeah, it's 100% biased, man. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so we get like the callback of Stack reappearing, but also right here, right before it goes to our next character, 5845, we have a possibly like a cadet or something like that, actually walking on the left side of the cockpit, because I've been bugging about that, why no one walks to the left side to get to that side of the ship.
Well, I mean, they walk it, but you were talking about trying to get over from one side to the other when they have consoles on their left hand, on the right hand side.
Yeah.
They can't walk through that.
Exactly, because there was like, for some reason, everybody wanted to walk across like the console, which you wouldn't do in a car unless you were in an emergency. You wouldn't jump in on the passenger side to crawl over to the driver's side. But we actually see someone walking around that area, so it's effective. I guess this redesign was for that. So this is probably the new ship.
Yep,
they have walking space.
No, this definitely is a new ship.
Yeah, it's modern. It's got a modern feel to it because it has an open floor plan.
Mm-hmm.
No longer barriers. And oh god, there she is. What the?
She's a captain.
I know. God, this one's gonna be the first to crash.
Captain. Well, she's not flying.
She's probably still gonna plot some course that's gonna lead to like the comms tower getting demolished again and more people dying.
No, as we discussed, she is a good pilot. She's just really dumb.
Yeah, so she's gonna do that anyways.
She's crazy on the stick, but she's also crazy, period.
Yep. So she's there, and she now has Delidier's hairstyle, because we were saying at first she's violating uniform code by just having loose hair, but now she definitely styles it up because she's supposed to. And it looks like, yeah, she is the captain of the ship. She's done what she wanted, so she no longer needs Johnny. She's probably going to go for Carl because he's a higher rank.
Maybe.
I think so. Remember, in the last scene, there was only one hand that she had around. I'm trying to think that maybe she didn't realize, like, someone told her, stop using that hand. She's like, nope, I'm going to be a badass the whole way through. This is what she would do. So, like, you can see now that side of the ship is actually being utilized. And we still have that spinning thing in the back. But it has been redesigned. Instead of just one giant tube that's spinning around, it seems to be a little bit more spaced out where there's room there for someone to actually walk around.
Mm-hmm.
And we still have the same IKEA desk lamps.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, if you got something, you don't want to spend extra money on it.
Yeah, I mean, the Billy bookcase has been around for, 10 years? And it's still a fantastic bookshelf.
It's pretty decent.
Yeah, you can still buy it. You can still use, I think they've redesigned the length of the shelves. Like, they've, made them a bit bigger. But it's one of those things, like, hey, even with a redesign, like, you get a new place and you want a bigger bookshelf, you still go for the Billy bookshelf from IKEA because it's actually pretty functional.
Mm-hmm.
We're not being paid by IKEA. I actually really do just like those Billy bookcases.
IKEA's okay.
Yeah, they're overpriced now. They used to be way cheaper when I was younger and single and actually needed cheap furniture.
Mm-hmm.
So here we have we're going back to the Roughnecks here, and we still see Private for Life Ace. God, he's still cool.
Yep. He has his nice spiky hair that he instantly ruins with his hat hair.
Yeah, that happens.
It happens.
But here's the thing I thought about. He may be Private for Life, but he has the charge of the comm.
He's one of the best NCOs for sure.
Yeah, because remember when the first one died, that's where Johnny got promoted to, was it Sergeant or Lieutenant?
He's Sergeant.
Okay.
I'm sorry, no. Sergeant was for Birdie, Corporal was for the comms.
Okay, so...
For Gillespie.
Yeah, so... Oh, that's right. So, he's actually doing the job of the corporal, but he's still a private, which makes me think, like, maybe, like, he's probably, like, one of those guys that even though he's technically under everybody else, he's the one that does do a lot of the order barking and coordinates a lot of stuff when Johnny is busy with other things.
I'm thinking he's a squad leader now. Finally.
He doesn't want squad leader.
But he didn't beforehand. Now he does, I'm thinking.
He might be one of those unwritten ranks.
Well, because he doesn't have his comms equipment on in this scene.
Well, he obviously gets in deployment because he's not going to wear it while he's in the Viking.
I mean, Dizzy did.
Did she?
She did.
Well, this is a redesigned one. Maybe they have a part rent for it. But anyways, I just think he has one of those unwritten ranks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like no, don't talk back to Private Ace. Like
yeah.
Like listen to what Private Ace says. I just actually think that even though he's a private, I just think in this universe he's still going to be better than the rank of any other private.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't want he doesn't want any promotion, but he's just constantly there. Yeah, he definitely is.
So
it's kind of like Riker. He doesn't want a new ship. He's constantly given different ships. He wants the Enterprise, and he'll stay first. He'll stay first officer until he gets Enterprise.
Yeah. So
that's where that minute ends, but we're continuing on because we're going to the credits.
Yeah.
They're using the Mark 1s.
Yeah. I know. Not only that, but it's also like the last glance of Rico. So he it's kind of cool that he's the one that closes out the character roll call. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so we see the drops of the Vikings here.
Well, first of all, he says, "Come on, you apes.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to live forever?"
Yeah.
Just like Raschek did.
And I noticed something as the Vikings dropped that we never got that would have actually been really beneficial when we were doing the math.
Mm-hmm.
The arms are numbered.
They are, but they were never numbered when we were looking at them beforehand.
Exactly. If they were numbered before, we would have gotten a better idea. Like, okay, so there's a number 7 there, so we know there has to be at least 7. But
well, we did do because there were on the side of the Corvette there were hangar doors that opened up, and I counted those, but it was still low. But we assumed that there was 2 Vikings to every hangar door, one that was already loaded and one that was being loaded.
Yeah, that is true.
So we did the math that way.
Okay.
Yes, it would have been easier if we had numbers, but we did the math. It was fine.
So, as these Vikings are being deployed, I see a problem.
Mm-hmm. So,
to the front of the ship, the deployment goes from the back 1, 2, and 3. That's the way they're numbered. So as it goes forward, number 3 drops first. And then it turns on its boosters, obviously, and then it starts to drop towards the surface of the planet.
Mm-hmm.
When that happens, the ship is moving forward. Number 3 is still technically floating in space, and number 2 drops after it, which would make a very high chance of a collision from 2 to 3, and then let alone 1 to 2 and 3.
Nope.
Yeah, it would.
Nope.
Why not?
They're in space, and they're going the same speed.
Dang. No, it's going to have something.
They're going the same speed. It's kind of like you see that GIF of the on MythBusters where they shot the bowling ball out of the cannon going 30 miles per hour, and the cannon was going 30 miles per hour as well too. It drops straight down.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's basically you are going the same speed as the ship. As soon as you drop, you're still going that speed, regardless. You still have the inertia of the ship unless you slow down yourself. Now, all they did was a little bit of boost up to, keep them from going down. Like there's probably a explosive bolt that, gets them off the gangway. But other than that, they're then under their own power. But they don't do any lateral movements except forward. So they boost forward, going forward, increasing their delta V, which the next one behind them does as well too. So they're still going all at the same. If they all dropped at the same time, they all be fine.
Okay. All right, so that makes sense.
Science.
I guess it exists. At least it's better than Space Wizards.
This is not Space Wizards. This is science. For sure.
All right. Good. I can live with science. I can definitely live with science. But then also the jets are purple. Mm-hmm. They used to run blue.
They did.
So I'm guessing this is an updated version of the Viking to withstand possibly the acid of the tanker bug.
Probably.
So, I mean, that's my assumption because now they actually had a ship that probably got eaten away a bit when they evacuated the outpost. That possibly like, this one doesn't withstand that attack at all.
Well, the Skyhook was okay doing that. The Vikings, we don't know.
Oh, that is true. So maybe they just overhauled like all the armor.
And that's what I'm thinking. They overhauled like weapons, and they overhauled like the ships are the ones that are being overhauled. The weapons are perfectly fine because now they know how to fight the bugs. They have people, from the Roughnecks putting on clinics, being like, "This is how you corral bugs. This is how you shoot them. Shoot here, instead of having what is it like?" People stand-ins on their shooting ranges, they actually have bugs, or they have bug stand-ins. So they're getting better.
Yeah, that was one of the things because I did bring it up at the Winder and Boot. They were shooting at people, like, what's it called? Like, targets of people instead of bugs. Like, maybe they changed that. Because
that's what I'm thinking too.
Because Carl is the one that technically discovered where to shoot the bugs more effectively. So I think it isn't until Carl comes in that a lot of these things come into play.
Yeah, and they weren't at war at that point either. So they were just, again, probably training to quell any kind of, uprising that may happen.
Yeah, or
shooting at humans.
Yeah, that is true. And also, like, probably just like just shooting more effectively instead of spraying, like constantly holding down the trigger, like maybe controlled bursts, etc., like that. And they didn't prep anything for the nerve stem.
Exactly. So now that they are continuing on with this war, they're getting smarter and better. And actually, this is where they're dropping. They're dropping back on Clondathu again.
Ah.
This is the second drop of Clondathu, the second battle of Clondathu.
That is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. But we don't get to see it because it comes up that says they'll keep on fighting and they'll win.
Yep. And then the third movie and second movie came around and disproved this thing, which kind of was upsetting.
Oh no! It's persistence. They're gonna win. We have the technology. We have the people. We have the persistence. We have God on our side. We're gonna win. We have Marauders. We're going to win.
Yeah, the Marauders come in, so that is more advanced weaponry. So I guess that counts, but still.
It's turned around for them, for sure.
I just wish that the second and third movie didn't exist.
Yeah, we don't live in this world, unfortunately.
I know. I mean, the third one was... I was excited for the third one because of the Marauders, don't get me wrong. And we got, oddly enough, like 2 or 3 nudity scenes compared to this one. Or like shower scenes. Well, no, one shower for some reason, and then where they had to be completely naked when they're about to get into the Marauders. That was just weird too. Like
they need to scan in their whole entire naked body, so their skin suit. Did you ever see G Gundam, the one where they're fighting, like all the time, like just like hand to hand combat? It's like this giant tournament.
No, I didn't.
Oh, they're wearing skin suits. That instead of flying like a pilot would with like the pedals and the joysticks, they're actually in a. You ever play Res Infinite, or do you know about the Res suit at all?
No.
Okay, there was a suit that you could play Res in. You know what Res is, right?
No.
It's kind of like Space Harrier, but like a trippy version of Space Harrier.
Oh, okay.
And their guy who made it actually made a suit that has like haptic feedback, and it's all like it could be used with VR and everything, but you can use that to move around with, and that's what like G Gundam used as well too. So instead of flying with a keyboard, like not keyboard mouse, but joysticks and pedals and everything, you actually used your physical body to move the Gundam, and to do that you had to be enveloped in a skin tight suit that mirrored your body motion as well too. So like when the hero of the show was fighting up against the Indian Gundam, because again the show is completely and utterly racist. So the Indian Gundam is a cobra, and the cobra is constricting the burning Gundam, which is called, and to get out of it, he separates his shoulder from his or it dislocates his shoulder, and that gives him and his Gundam enough play to get out of it. So as long as you do it in your body, you can do it in your Gundam as well too.
All right.
But yeah, man, if you want to see some racist, Gundam, designs, look up G Gundam and look up specifically Mexico, the Tequila Gundam.
Are you kidding me here?
Look up the Tequila Gundam right now. Everyone at home, if you're listening to this is the last minute. We're pretty much at the very end. Look up the Tequila Gundam.
You can buy a figure of this? What the hell? Are you kidding me?
It is great, isn't it? Look up Norway's Gundam.
Hold on. I gotta absorb this. This is horrible. God dang it. This is Neo Mexico Mobile Fighter.
Look up.
It's protected by cacti. And he has a pitchfork.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Look up.
Alright, the Mongolia one doesn't look that bad.
Look up.
I'll
Hurricane
get there.
Gundam.
I'll get there.
New Holland.
I see Neil Holland there, but I'm not going to zoom into it. I'm going to look at the other ones real quick.
Look up Zebra Gundam.
The Cuba one, I don't know why it's a spider. I think I have an idea, but I don't want to go into it. Egypt as a pharaoh. Okay. God dang it, Matt. The hell do you watch?
This was early 90s before Gundam Wing.
There's a thing on my Google saying to look up Neo Africa. I kind of don't want to.
Look up Neo Africa.
Okay, it's a Gundam thing. It's not something else.
Yes. So all the colonies, they go up into space and they're called like Neo Mexico, Neo America, Neo...
The Zebra Gundam?
Uh-huh.
What the hell is this one that looks like a bull? The Matador Gundam?
That's Spain.
Oh my...
This show was pretty wacky, man. You want to hear something even better?
Holy hell, the Ashura Gundam?
Uh-huh. So in the show as well too, there is a horse Gundam that one of the other Gundams ride. And
I see one for John Bull. Is this Russia?
Yes, it is.
Oh dear God.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's Gundam Mac. I'm sorry. The big Vladimir Gundam or whatever it is. Mm-hmm.
What's the one with the fish? There's one that looks like it's been swallowed by a carp.
Uh-huh.
And it's got fins. What is this? What country is this? Oh God, I see the Cobra one. What the hell?
That is the Mermaid Gundam. The one that you were talking about beforehand. Neo Denmark.
The Jester Gundam? Oh my. This looks a lot like one of the D-list DC villains.
Yeah.
No, there is a D-list DC villain. I can't remember his name. I think it's like, God dang it. But he actually did something where he's a contortionist and he looks like this.
Mm-hmm.
Mandala Gundam is a bell.
Mm-hmm.
The Viking one is a half ship? Is this real or is this fake?
This is all real. This is an actual show that came out.
It's like a centaur, except instead of a horse, it's a Viking ship.
Yep. Did you see the Rose Gundam, which is Neo France?
No.
It's basically a little Napoleon-looking dude with a big cloak.
It's just, there's one called Shinkan Crossing where it looks like a skull head and like atrophied legs.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Do You Even Lift Bro, but a Gundam.
Yep. Did you see Neo America's Gundam? It's the best one.
No, but I saw the space colony of Neo Mexico. What the hell?
For anyone who's not looking, Neo Mexico, it's basically a giant sombrero hat.
Yeah, except it looks like a mound of like dirt surrounded by cacti in space.
G Gundam has problems. G Gundam is definitely problematic.
Holy hell, dude. Like, what do you watch?
Again, I watched it once and it was weird and I never did again. But it was the dumb wrestling that got me into it, where I was like, this is kind of cool because they're all fighting. But it's like a sanctioned tournament. It is weird as hell.
All right, but Neo USA Maxter does look really cool.
It is a football boxer.
Yeah, he does look cool, though. I would get that mini.
Mm-hmm.
I would absolutely get that one. But
everything else is a problem.
It is. Holy crap. I've never gone into Gundam this deep, and I've never seen this before. Holy hell. This is...
There was a time where, Japan didn't even care, and they were like, you know what, let's put this in, because it's hilarious.
Dear God. There's a Gundam riding a horse? What the...
Again, so the horse is actually... Again, remember what I told you about the suit and how you control the Gundam?
Mm-hmm.
Guess what's controlling the horse Gundam?
Oh, God. Is it a horse?
Horse in a suit. It's a horse in a suit.
That's horrible. It's not horrible like this is like... Like, I'm not saying it like this, like, poor horse or, like, this is racist. It's horrible saying this is dumb.
G Gundam is very problematic.
Okay, the Rose one doesn't look too bad.
No, it's okay.
Oh my!
But if you want some anime stuff, G Gundam is real dumb. Also, you know how in Sailor Moon they had the transformation?
Yeah. Oh God, no.
They kind of did the same thing with the girl fighters as well too. They have this really intricate looking way, because the way the suit comes on is you stand there and then the suit comes down over your body, so you get this like tight fitting scene of something going around an anime girl's butt.
All right, I'm done talking about this for this recording. Oh, my brain hurts.
Everyone who's listening, look up how problematic G Gundam is. This was a problem. It's not happening anymore, thank goodness, but it's a thing, and if you want to watch it, it's some anime, man.
I literally have my hand in my face. The Neo Mexico does it like that.
That was definitely the worst offender.
Like the Neo Africa with just the look, it looks like it has a zebra skin on it, is not as racist as the Neo Mexico.
Did I show you the Neo India pilot?
No, let's wait till after the recording.
Okay.
This is going to be too big of a rabbit hole. Dear
yes,
God.
It is.
All right, so apparently they're going to win. God dang it. To those who have stuck with us for this long, I thank you so much. Everybody that's been just like... Oh, Matt sent me something. I don't want to open it just now. All right. So, to everybody that's out there, if you listen to us part way, if you listen to us to the beginning, if you've only listened to this episode, God dang it, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being with us this whole time. I didn't know it was going to last this long. In the beginning, I was, full of vigor, vinegar, and excitement. And it's just... in a way, I'm kind of glad that this is going to be done. It was kind of a labor of love, but started becoming a task. But I wouldn't have changed anything. I'm so glad I did this. And to everybody that's out there, I'm so glad that you guys listened to us. It means the world to me that we did have people listening to us at all. Thank you guys so much. Like, really, from the bottom of my heart. I wish we could keep doing this movie, but we definitely have to move on to other projects, and we're definitely not doing the second and third Starship Troopers, but If you guys like to keep track of us with our Twitter and possibly the Facebook page if we're going to announce it there, we definitely have some projects in the work. We're definitely keeping it close to the chest at this point, but we also definitely need a break from recording so vigorously and continuously. We just need a break.
Definitely. I'd like to thank you guys for dealing with the really, really, really rough, first couple episodes where I was literally learning how to edit, literally learning how to put together this podcast. And I'd like to thank Johann for helping me out with that, because he did a little bit of editing as well too, and does a little bit of music editing in his own right as well too. But man, as I said, I mean, we flew by the seat of our pants for this one. And again, yes, just like Johann, I'd like to thank you for sticking it out with us. We are not done, though. We still got the credits, and we're going to do that one for one big, giant episode, a little bit longer than this one, probably, because we're at 50 minutes on this one, because we spent a good, nice chunk of time talking about G Gundam and how problematic it is.
Yeah, but if anybody's listened to the show and they obviously liked us for a particular reason, they do know we fly into tangents very easily and stay on those tangents very long.
Yeah, but definitely stick with us for a while. We do have some stuff in the works. We may be doing, as I said, as we talked about in the other minutes, we may be doing one-offs for Starship Troopers 2 and Starship Troopers 3, just talking about them for about an hour or so. So don't uninstall us or don't unsubscribe just yet. We do have some other stuff. And as I said, we definitely do have some stuff in the pipeline, whether it be a certain project or another certain project. We don't know yet, but we have ideas.
So, where can they find you, Matt?
Well, you guys can continue listening to me and my dumb voice and my dumb opinions about how awesome G Gundam is and how problematic it still is at my Twitch and Twitter and Instagram, pretty much anywhere you can find me at AltTabMatt.
You guys can find me on Twitch and Instagram at JDASHD26. You can also find me on Twitter at OMGIt'sJohann. You can also follow the rest of the show on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Podcast Addict. And like Matt said, if you've already subscribed, please continue subscribing until we make those announcements public. Okay? Please like and subscribe, obviously. Visit our website at theroughneckminute.podbean.com for show notes and back episodes and also future news. You can also follow us on Twitter at roughneckmin. That's M-I-N. And if you'd like to continue the conversation or anything you'd like to bring up to us, you can go to Facebook group, the Roughneck Minute Billet, B-I-L-L-E-T. I've been your host, Johann.
And I've been your other host, Matthew.
See you on the Battle Troopers.